Good Wednesday evening, July 2nd, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A major water main project in Levvenworth has shifted to nighttime work after it caused heavy traffic delays on Monday. Speaking of traffic delays, Douglas County motorists will notice one-way traffic on McNeil Canyon Road starting Monday. Sunny, cooler, and less wind in the forecast for Thursday and the 4th of July. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. A special sheriff's detail at last weekend's Beyond Wonderland Festival at the Gorge Amphitheater is credited for seizing a healthy supply of illegal drugs. The Beyond Wonderland EDM Festival took place June 27th and 28th, and the Wenatchee-based Columbia River Drug Task Force partnered with his sister agency in Grant County to crack down on illicit narcotics at that event. Beyond Wonderland has been a known site for drug traffic and consumption, including 2023, when a man under the influence of psychedelics opened fire in a parking lot, killing 2 people. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison supervises the task force. He told county commissioners this week they made significant seizures and arrests during the Gorge operation.
We had 10 total cases, 8 arrests for drug delivery and or possession with intent to deliver, cash seizure of over 2,000, 3 cars seized, 89 grams of cocaine, 49 grams of MDMA Molly, 46 grams of ketamine, 96 grams of shrooms, 39 grams of LSD, 15 grams of fentanyl, and 20 grams of DMT. So to say that it was a success, I think would be an understatement. Our drug task force did an amazing job. This is certainly a project that we wanted to take on. They've been forthcoming and assisting us when we've asked for operations, and we return the favor.
A major water main project in Leavenworth is shifted to nighttime work after it caused heavy traffic delays on Monday. The city is placing a larger main between Mill Street and Icicle Road to boost water capacity and pressure. Construction on Monday slowed commuters on Highway 2 by up to 45 minutes. The route is heavily traveled, so the city and the State Department of Transportation announced yesterday they'd move the necessary road work to nightly hours between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. City Public Works Director Andy Zontek-Backstrom says the upgrade will replace about 5,400 feet of 12-inch pipe with a larger diameter main. The project is considered critical for Leavenworth's water distribution system. The work is expected to continue throughout this year. State troopers on Tuesday corralled an allegedly stolen car on Highway 97A in Entiat City Park. The Jaguar sedan had been reported stolen out of Spokane, but the Washington State Patrol spotted it and took the driver into custody after blocking them into the park. The driver, a 30-year-old woman, was booked into the Chelan County Jail on suspicion of stolen vehicle possession and obstruction, but later released. No charges have yet been filed. The city of Wenatchee will receive $2.2 million to manage stormwater runoff in areas around Springwater and Maple Street. The State Department of Ecology awarded the grant to the Pershing Street Stormwater Retrofit Project, which aims to replace 1,200 feet of pipe and reroute stormwater that might otherwise flood local streets. It's part of $188 million distributed by the state to projects throughout Washington. Cascadia Conservation District will also receive $500,000 towards stream bank restoration in the Wenatchee River watershed, while Chelan County gains $367,000 for similar projects in the Chumstick and Icicle Creek areas. Ecology warns, however, that federal cuts could shrink funds for these water quality programs by more than 90% in the next year. When we come back, Douglas County motorists will notice one-way traffic on McNeil Canyon Road starting on Monday. The Department of Licensing is encouraging people to exercise caution as reports circulate of an ongoing scam regarding traffic ticket fees. And the unpaved sections of Horse Lake Road and Birch Mountain Road are now closed to vehicle traffic through the 4th of July weekend. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition.
Holy pepperoni, Abby Man. It's the hometown hero bursting onto the scene this July at a special price, starring classic pepperoni, green peppers, and Italian sausage. One bite and wham. Don't miss the summer's biggest blockbuster. The hometown hero has arrived at Abby's.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Douglas County motorists will notice one-way traffic on McNeil Canyon Road starting on Monday. The McNeil Canyon Road realignment project began in June and will reroute a section of the road north of its current route. The project will improve sight distance, reduce road grade, widen lanes and shoulders, smooth curves, and add guardrails where needed. The county is asking drivers to plan ahead, allow extra time for travel delays, and to stay alert in the construction zone. Construction is estimated to be completed in November. The Department of Licensing is encouraging people to exercise caution as reports circulate of an ongoing scam regarding traffic ticket fees. Licensed drivers have been receiving texts and emails claiming that they have unpaid traffic ticket fees with the department and must click a link to pay to avoid legal action. The Department of Licensing says that it will never ask drivers to make a payment over text and encourages people to look out for grammatical errors and threats to suspend a license, which are other common characteristics of scams. Anyone who believes they have received a scam message is encouraged to report it to the Federal Trade Commission. The unpaved sections of Horse Lake Road and Birch Mountain Road are now closed to vehicle traffic through the 4th of July weekend. Chelan County Commissioners voted last month to place gates on both roads in order to reduce wildfire risks during the fireworks-heavy holiday. Last year, fireworks in the Horse Lake Reserve sparked the Balsam Root Fire, which burned about 250 acres and required emergency evacuations. Fireworks are banned throughout the region, along with campfires and target shooting, and the risk of wildfire remains high. The closure of both roads will stay in effect through July 9th. Coming up next, upcoming traffic and pedestrian projects by the city of Wenatchee could put the iconic Easy Burger Deluxe's future in jeopardy. We'll have more on that in tonight's feature story. A red flag warning is still in effect until 9 p.m. with hot, breezy, and dry conditions. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Easy's Burger Deluxe has been a beloved drive-thru restaurant on the north end of Wenatchee Avenue since 1992. But now the business's future is uncertain. The city of Wenatchee is set to acquire a portion of the restaurant's property for 2 separate traffic and pedestrian projects. Owner Pete Azetta believes that will render the restaurant inoperable. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Casey Safford checked in with the city and spoke with Azetta to learn more.
So, Pete, to begin, could you please tell our viewers how Easy Burgers first came to be and how long you've been a staple of the community here?
I built it in '92, and what it was an old service station called the Flying J, and this was the office and the bathrooms. The building was, and so I converted it, redid it all, and converted it into Easy's.
All right, so now we're going to dive into why we're here today.
Okay.
Please tell us about when and how the city contacted you to let you know that they were interested in acquiring a portion of your property here.
How this gal you talked to, Nicole, she invited me to come up and talk to them about a walking path behind Easy's, you know, and lights, I guess, and blacktop. So I went to the city the day of the meeting, and there wasn't anything about that, and nobody mentioned anything about the walking path. It was destroying Easy's. That's the way I look at the meeting, and it was almost surreal. I couldn't believe that these people were saying that, taking a successful business and totally dismantling it.
So, City Engineer Nicole Brockwell confirmed to me that the city plans to acquire a front portion of your property to expand the avenue and widen it, as well as add a U-turn for the North Wenatchee Avenue Corridor Improvements Project. And that project has an estimated construction date of spring of 2027.
Right.
Do you think that the acquisition of the front portion of your property would hinder or affect your business in specific ways?
Well, the only access I would have, ingress and egress, is this one driveway. That's it. Everything else would be taken out. And I would lose my reader board. I'd lose my dumpster, lose all my parking. So you tell me how I'd stay open.
Well, the city also confirmed plans to acquire the back portion of your property to install a walking path as part of a separate project titled the North Wenatchee Avenue Shared Use Trail Project. And that project's estimated construction date is spring of 2026. So tell us about how you'd be affected losing the back portion of your property.
I don't want people walking back there when I've got my buildings out there with supplies in it. So they already have a sidewalk out here, that's not hardly ever used, and I'm just wondering what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. It just seems like just another piece of destroying my property.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that if these acquisitions go through, the property is rendered inoperable for your business. Right. So when I spoke to Nicole with the city, and I asked, you know, if the city was to acquire these portions successfully, if your business was rendered inoperable, what would be the procedure next? I was informed that they would have to look at, you know, total property acquisition. However, she said the city strongly believes that your business will be able to continue after these acquired sections go through.
They're all geniuses, aren't they?
So you disagree that there's any way you could make
I've been in the restaurant business over 50 years of my life, so I understand how it all works. And these guys trying to tell me they think it won't hurt me? How ridiculous, how stupid.
Pete, if the property was fully acquired, if it came to that situation, or if it was completely rendered inoperable in your opinion as the business owner,
it is.
What would your next step be? Would you relocate and start again, or would you?
At my age, this is my legacy. This is what I've worked for 30-some years. Let's say 35 years of my life is this. And they're going to totally destroy it. without any thought or care on what I've got.
So you would not relocate or rebuild elsewhere?
I'm done.
Well, Pete, you reached out to me
Right.
because you were approached by the city. So tell me why you wanted to spread the word about this. What can customers do to help in your situation?
I've got some of the best customer base, I think, of any business in this town, and loyal, and I just think that we need to get them involved, and I'm hoping this will help. But writing to the mayor especially. I don't know else how to do this. I really don't.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday. It was another above normal temperature day all across our area, and as predicted, breezy conditions. You can see the grass along parts of Wenatchee Heights, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, blowing pretty good out there today, and some pretty cool lenticular clouds out there this afternoon as well, with those mid-level winds. But boy, that has sure raised fire concerns. We talked about it last night, and we are still under a red flag warning until 9 o'clock tonight, where conditions are critical for fire weather out there, with winds between 15 and 25 miles an hour. We're even seeing some gusts to 40 miles an hour. And right here, another critical fire measurement, relative humidity, and it's very low right now, between 11 and 19%. So that'll go until about 9 tonight before those winds lay down overnight and into Thursday. And let's take a look now. We're into July, the second day of July, what we expect as we move forward in the month. As far as precip goes, this is going to be a pretty normal July for us, below or about below normal for precip here in Washington State, especially in the eastern part of the state. As far as temperatures go, once again, pretty typical of July, above normal temperatures for most of the west. And that includes a good chunk of eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, and almost all of Idaho as we make our way through the month of July. So it's going to be hot and dry, a lot like we've been seeing, and a lot like we saw today. Unofficially high temperature, 91 degrees. That's 7 degrees above where we should be at 84. Our record, a hot one, 104 degrees, set back in 2013. Another just unbelievably warm overnight this morning. 73 our overnight low. 59 is where we should be for this time of year. And our record, 43, going back to 1962. Sunrise this morning, 5:09, and it sets tonight at 9:01. All right, getting you into those Thursday temperatures, we're going to see some cooler readings out there, with most of us, in fact, all of us, dipping back down into the 80s for the first time in a while. 88 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 87 in Quincy, 86s for Wenatchee, Entiat, a little warmer for Chelan and Omak at about 87 tomorrow, mid-80s for both Leavenworth and for Cashmere, so just slightly above normal for most of us on Thursday. Tonight we can expect mostly clear skies, still maybe some breezy conditions in parts of our viewing area, but once again it's going to be mild overnight, not as warm as we've seen, but we're still talking temperatures overnight in the low 60s here in the Wenatchee Valley. For Thursday, sunny skies out there all up and down the west coast. Less wind for Thursday as well, maybe 5 to 15 miles an hour for Thursday. We mentioned going to be cooler with high temperatures in the mid, maybe upper 80s in some locations. And then for our 4th of July on Friday, it looks nice. Sunny out there, not much wind to speak of at all, with high temperatures in the mid 80s. So all the activities for 4th of July outdoors should be beautiful for Friday. Saturday, sunny skies as we kick off our weekend, and warmer temperatures with readings in the afternoon Saturday climbing into the upper 80s. And then, yes, another heat wave begins on Sunday with sunny skies. We are talking a third of the United States cloud-free on Sunday. High temperatures for us here in our area into those low 90s, and we're going to continue to go up from there as we get you into the first part of next week. Sunny skies and warmer on Monday. Once again, not a cloud in the sky across Washington State for Monday. We're going to jump up into the mid 90s on Monday, And then hold your hats as we get into Tuesday. Sunny and unseasonably hot. A lot like this past Tuesday, we will see high temperatures right around 100 degrees. Here's a look now at your 7-day forecast. Overnight tonight, 63 degrees. A couple of 86s then in store for us on Thursday and for Independence Day on Friday. I'll tell you, Friday looks beautiful. Sunny and warmer for Saturday and 88, and then the heat is back on. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, lots of sun. And by the time we get to Tuesday, expect high temperatures around 101 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, La Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
What do you think of that?
Pretty big, I like it.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
Living on Tucker time. Happy Wednesday, sports fans. Salvador Perez hit a big 2-run double. Fortunately, Mr. Perez plays baseball for the Kansas City Royals, who doubled up the Mariners last night. 6-3 for the Royals. It was only their second win in their last 10 games. 5 Royal relievers combined for 4.5 innings of shutout baseball. Mariners only hit 1 base hit off their bullpen. There was some good news. Randy Arozarena hit another home run. That's his 3rd home run in 4 at-bats, his 11th of the year. Bad news, Cal Raleigh took the collar. He went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
In the early innings. Grounded up the middle and into center field. And Michael Garcia picks up the Royals with a 2-out RBI.
Man, that's really nice. That's a big clutch hit right there with 2 outs. Look at him. Emerson thought about fielding it with his hand, but man, he don't want to do that. It's a good thing he didn't hit him. He'd be out of the game probably if he tried to catch that. That ball was hit hard. Very nice. Top spin.
That is line fair. That'll snap the 0 for 24. Caglione to third. Vance Wilson's going to send him home. And the relay is a looping throw from the left field corner, so no chance for a play at the plate. And the Rave has a nice lead over at first base. And Isbell hits it, and a second baseman, Young, makes a tremendous play. No double play. A run scores. The Royals lead 3-0, but
among the fewest at-bats with the bases loaded this year in baseball, the Royals. This is chopped softly, tough play. Williamson, and in time. That is a really big play by Ben Williamson.
Yeah, it's huge for so many different reasons, but the fact that we talked about how good he has been coming in on ball, but he's cutting in front of J.P. Crawford, so you have that natural instinct to maybe back off or hesitate.
Out to left field, shot back, and he's hit another one out. Randy Arozarena has homered for the 3rd time in his last 4 at-bats.
Well, they certainly come in bunches for Randy Arozarena when he's seen it. He's crushing it. Plenty of hard contact lately. It's paying off. 3 home runs in this homestand already for Randy.
and that's hit well, right center field. Rodriguez goes to the track at the wall, and it's a 3-run home run. Or did it stay in play? It did. Royals already have their hands in the air to want to take another look at it, and Vinny Pasquantino, who had to hesitate, as the Royals' first reaction was that that ball was gone.
Ooh, the captain, man, that ball, it looked like it had helium, and it just kept going higher and higher. I thought for sure it'd be in the first 3 or 4 rows.
He bats with the runner at third. This is inside the bag and into right field. An RBI base hit for Williamson. He's racing to second base, and he is safe. A hustle double. Raley scores from third.
You can get that mistake right here, put an extra run on the board.
This is looping, dropping, shallow left field base hit. J.P. Crawford. An RBI knock from the Mariners shortstop brings in Ben Williams. Here's Caglione. He smokes this ball, but it's caught on a line by Solano at first base. That was 107.
Noah Cameron will go tomorrow. And looking to put the Royals ahead in the series 2-1 when he takes them out tomorrow.
After the game, manager Dan Wilson said Emerson Hancock actually pitched pretty good, even though he did allow 5 runs, 7 hits, and he walked 3.
Fun tonight. I thought Emerson, gave us 6, strong innings. Ran into a little trouble early, but able to kind of get out of it and get 6 strong innings for us, and turn it over to the bullpen. We tried to mount a comeback a couple of times, Randy with the big homer to kind of get us on the board, and then, putting a 2 spot up there to make it 5-3, and then, creating traffic the last couple of innings, but just not able to get them in. And they added the one later in the ball game, but, tough night. One we're going to move on from, but good to see Bergie make his debut tonight, get his, first strikeout, and thought he threw the ball very well for the first time out. It looked like he, was going back on it, and that's a play where you have to check the wall, and when he went back to find the ball, it was it looked like it had moved a little bit on him, but I thought in general the wind was kind of funky tonight out there in the outfield. It looked like there were a lot of balls where guys were just unsure until the last moment what was happening. So, it was just a tough one, and he has been so good for us out there, and has saved us so many times, and that was just a tough play.
Game 3 of the 4-game series is tonight. Logan Gilbert will be on the mound for the Mariners. Kansas City will start Noah Cameron. First pitch tonight at T-Mobile Park at 6:40. Everybody in the Division won yesterday, except the Mariners. So the Mariners fall further behind the Houston Astros in the division race. Houston knocked off the Rockies. Everybody beats the Rockies 6-5. So the Astros lead the Mariners by 7 games. They have an 8.5-game lead over the Angels, who shut out the Braves. The Rangers rolled over the Baltimore Orioles 10-2. And the A's won a game. Break up the A's. They beat the Rays 4-3. Local sports. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox hopes of winning the West Coast League's North Division first-half title went by the wayside last night in walk-off fashion. The Kamloops North Paws scored a base hit in the bottom of the 9th. They pulled out a 1-0 victory. So with Wenatchee's loss last night, the Bellingham Bells win the first-half title of the West Coast League's Northern Division. They will advance to the playoffs. Alec Ammerman did really good. Had 4 no-hit innings. He gave up just 3 hits, but the Apple Sox only sent 28 players to the plate. That's 1 over the minimum, and they only had 4 base hits. So the Wenatchee Apple Sox still have a very good chance of making the playoffs. They can win the second-half WCL title, or they can make it as a wild card team. They just have to do a little work. They're not even to their 27th game yet. They'll do that tonight. 1 more game in Kamloops, and they're back home this weekend to take on Kelowna. In fact, of all the teams that you see there, Wenatchee, Kelowna, Port Angeles, and Edmonton, they still haven't played their 27th game of the year, which marks the halfway point. As long as you get to 27 league games, regardless of where you are overall, that is your first half, and the second half is the second 27 games. All right? And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
The pitch by Busic.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.